The biggest story of free agency comes down to the quarterbacks every single year. You got George Pickens getting franchise tagged, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, we want to know about the quarterbacks. And this year is an interesting situation because you have a really good mix of players. Like nobody's that top end, like frontline starter, but you have a lot of guys where it's like, can we take the Sam Darnold approach and go out and win a Super Bowl? I think that's the case for Malik Willis. That'd be the case with Aaron Rodgers or Daniel Jones right now. So we're going to talk about some of the best free agent quarterbacks out there, talk about where they're going to go. And I think it all starts with Daniel Jones, honestly. And I came out the other day that the Colts were in long-term talks with him to try to get a big deal done where he can be the starting quarterback of the future there. I think that's the right move personally. How do you feel about that, Grant?
Yeah, I feel the same way as you. And to the audience, guys, we make these videos for you. So make sure you go down to the comment section below and leave us your thoughts there. We read and respond to every single comment that we get. But genuinely, want to know what your guys' opinions on this are. For me, Daniel Jones, and I think you said it perfectly, I think there's going to be this Sam Darnold complex moving, I would say, for at least the next 5 years. And if none of them stick, then we might trend away from it. But for at least the next 5 years, teams are going to be saying, hey, where's our Sam Darnold? And hey, before Sam Darnold, it was Baker Mayfield because Baker didn't go on the deep playoff run. But Baker's career was over. He somehow gets 3 years, $30 million each, and then he's playing like a really good quarterback. And Geno Smith gets his opportunity, and he looks like a solid quarterback. Same thing, making like $25 to $30 million. So there is a bit of a model of this in recent years, Sam Darnold being the most successful guy to do it. But when you consider how, I don't want to say punitive, but just how much money you have to actually fork over to the top quarterbacks, but also the top edge rushers. Micah reset the market at $47 million. Jamar Chase is getting $40 million to play wide receiver. Like these positions are simply just becoming too expensive. The cap is going up, sure, but guys are just making too much money for you to pay someone top market dollar and be competitive everywhere else on your roster. So this Sam Darnold paradigm, I actually think is going to be the way to build Super Bowl contending rosters for the next few years until teams do something to address market inefficiencies. Like, for example, what one solution might be you move to more 3-4 systems so that you can blitz your linebackers and they supply your pass rush juice instead of you having to pay top market for like a Max Crosby and Myles Garrett. Like if you're spending $15 million a year, $20 million a year on two really good blitzing linebackers instead of $40 million on one defensive end, maybe that's a way around it. But until that solution comes, I think this is the future. I think finding that $30 million quarterback is the way to go.
So let's start with Daniel Jones. And I agree with you to a point. I think this year was a different story because, I credit to Sam Darnold. He took down Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford's the MVP. Matthew Stafford's also at the end of his career, towards the end of it, right? You didn't have Allen in who couldn't get it done because I guess he couldn't build around him. You didn't have Patrick Mahomes, right? Like you didn't have these top end quarterbacks this year where I think, there were more teams that could play with the low-end quarterback this year. And I'm not saying Sam Darnold's a low-end quarterback, but I don't think the Sam Darnold story is repeatable year after year. I do think to win in the NFL, you need a great quarterback. But let's start with Daniel Jones, projected to get a 4-year deal worth $174 million. That's an AAV of $43.59 million over those 4 years. That's high. That's high for a guy like Daniel Jones. But out of all the quarterbacks, if I'm the Colts, like that is your smartest move. It's better than going to Anthony Richardson. It's better than going to the draft for a quarterback because you know how well he works in your system.
Well, Daniel Jones, and again, let's stick with this Sam Darnold comparison, right? Daniel Jones was a guy who's big, strong, prototypical sort of quarterback, strong-armed guy, taken very early. Darnold was third. Jones was sixth. Both go to New York teams, New York markets that they're not prepared to handle. Bad coaching, bad teammates, aside from Saquon Barkley, who's actually the reason Daniel Jones got paid in the first place, right? But they just weren't in a spot. It wasn't conducive for them to grow. The Colts, they've been getting 8-9, 9-8. Basically, it doesn't matter who's playing quarterback. It could be 21-year-old Anthony Richardson. It could be 44-year-old Phillip Rivers, Sam Ellinger. Doesn't matter. Throw them in there. They're going to go 8-9, 9-8. With Daniel Jones, the Colts, really found something. They started the year off 7-1, and then from that point on, they only win one more game the rest of the season. But they start 7-1, and they legitimately look like they have a great offense. And Jonathan Taylor was a massive part of that as well. But, Alec Pierce is a guy who's really starting to come on. Last year, 1,000 yards, led the NFL in yards per reception as the number 2. Maybe he causes some damage as the number 1. Tyler Warren is a young tight end who's really growing. And then Daniel Jones, when he got to play this year, 3,100 yards in 13 games. Keeping in mind, he left one of those with the torn Achilles. Completed 68% of his passes, career high. He had 24 total touchdowns to only 8 interceptions, 3-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. So there's just a lot of very positive signs that you can take from this. For me, I'm not even worried about it being Daniel Jones. The biggest question to me is the Achilles, but guys are coming back from that these days. Jason Tatum is going to come back to play this season. We've seen this happen. So I think this is the right move for Indy.
I think it is too. And at least for Indianapolis, they have the comfort in their mind knowing that last year he was on a 1-year, $14 million deal. He succeeded with them, and now you can give him more. And now there's a big difference between 14 to 40 something million in 4 years as your starting quarterback, especially with how they operate over there. It seems like if they start bad, Shane Steichen may be out of a job based on how they're operating in the front office. But, we'll see. I think the thing about Daniel Jones is the fact, though, that he has played for them and he showed what he can do under a low-end contract, where that's not going to be the case for a lot of these other quarterbacks. Malik Willis, I think, is the big name that's popping up right now. Malik Willis is a guy, and we're going to talk about him in relationship with the Browns here in a few, but Malik Willis is a guy who's projected to get 20 to 35 million. I think a lot of people have settled on that $30 million a year number. He's only played in 22 NFL games. He was really good coming back for the Packers last year as the backup quarterback, and he pretty much outplayed Jordan Love when he was in there. But he's thrown 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions in his career. He's run for a few. I would be very concerned to give a guy like Malik Willis $30 million a year, not knowing what he's going to look like as the everyday starter.
Yeah, that's the difference. The Colts are finding themselves in a situation, sticking with the Darnold thing, that the Seahawks were in. The Vikings were the ones who sort of took the risk. Are we really going to start Sam Darnold? And then he showed, I can do this. I can start, and the Seahawks were there to capitalize. The Colts would be both teams in this situation because they took the chance on Daniel Jones. Hadn't gone well for him up until that point in his career. And you go, oh, he can play well. We know that now. So it's, to your point, Malik Willis is an unknown. Tua, for various reasons, not having supreme talent around him, concussion stuff, injury stuff, Tua is an unknown. Aaron Rodgers at 42 years old is an unknown. Kirk Cousins, this stage of his career, is an unknown. Justin Fields, I don't even want to call him an unknown. It's a known that he's not that good right now. He still has never shown what Daniel Jones did, even when Daniel Jones was with the Giants. So as far as guys being available, no, there's not a ton of big name dudes, but Daniel Jones proved something. And I think it just makes sense for everybody if he's back with the Colts.
Yeah, definitely. But as far as just Malik Willis, let's focus on him here. I would much rather go out and get Tua or Kyler, I think, than Malik Willis at this point. Because I know what I know what the floor looks like with them as a starting quarterback. I have no clue what it looks like for Malik Willis. And Malik Willis, you're going to have to commit to for 3-4 years. And we just don't have that body of work to show what he's like as a starting quarterback.
So I come at this from a couple of different angles. You're right. We can guarantee Kyler and Tua will play at a certain level. We can't guarantee that with Malik Willis. At the same time, we can also guarantee you can't win a Super Bowl. You probably can't get to the playoffs with Tua. Can't win a Super Bowl. Probably can't get to the playoffs with Kyler
or Malik. Let's be real too.
The thing is, we can't guarantee that with Malik though.
No, but can you really win a Super Bowl with Malik Willis? I maybe you can. I don't know, but we can't. We can't guarantee it. But looking at having no evidence, no data point, I don't think you sign him with the intention of saying, "Hey, we can win a Super Bowl with this guy."
No, I agree with you. So where I'm going with this is, as far as that $30 million a year sort of figure, that's not even my concern. Pay it. That's fine. It's the 4 years. That's where the issue is for me. I'll give you 30 for 1. Maybe I'll give you 30 for 2, just to prove to me that you have it. And we can include some sort of good faith clause in this where we will revisit it. If that first year goes really well, you'll get your contract. But I can't commit real money to you, long-term deal, having seen nothing. I mean, like you said, he's played in 22 games in his career, but a lot of those he was barely throwing any passes. The real number is in 4 years, he's thrown 155 passes.
Yeah. And again, too, the concerning thing about Malik Willis is the fact that while he was really good when he came in for Green Bay last year, that wasn't what you got in Tennessee. And I know it's 4-year difference or 3-year difference between those dates, but you have no film on the guy. Like Jordan Love goes down. Jordan Love is a completely different quarterback than Malik Willis. So for you to prepare for that, it's two different quarterbacks. You're not even thinking about how do I prepare for Malik Willis in a football game. So the time he was on the field, teams just didn't have a lot of game film on him. And what he looked like this year in Green Bay versus what he looked like in Tennessee was just a totally different quarterback.
And LaFleur also called those games totally different with Malik Willis in there versus Jordan Love. With Malik Willis, he was getting into all sorts of like funky option stuff, lots super innovative running game, and just make it running, leveraging his ability to run the football from the quarterback spot. He was doing everything he could to help him, which is what he should do. I'm not knocking him, but I'm saying when we were trying to project how's he going to look on another team, they better have a diverse run scheme, solid talent around them, a good play caller who knows how to get the best out of him. Otherwise, you're putting him in a situation to fail.
Yeah, I mean, can you win in the pocket with Malik Willis? That's the question. Like Kyler Murray lit the world on fire early in his NFL career. And then, injuries, game film, like he's not the same
games
guy.
As well, Call of Duty specifically.
Yeah, so I don't think you'll get that with Malik Willis. But the problem is if you have to give like 4 years to Malik Willis or 3 years, because like he's probably going to take a lower AAV for more years on the deal. I would be very concerned as an NFL GM to give more years for less money. I'd rather give him 45 for 1 year and see what he can do with it rather than waste 4 years not knowing what it is. Now, the risk with that is if you bring him in for 1 year for 45 and he lights the world on fire, somebody's going to go take him from you. So you're not going to be able to get the deal done. But, for Malik, I think he's going to go longer years. Another guy I want to talk about, Aaron Rodgers. Like, people are projecting him going to the Cardinals right now, which is kind of crazy to think. I think it's got to be Steelers or retirement for him. What do you think?
I think so too, because I don't think he's playing just to play. I think he's playing. He's always had this love affair with Mike Tomlin, and it made sense for him to go there. And now he wouldn't have to switch teams to be in the same place, and he's with Mike McCarthy, who's his buddy. So I could get that. But the Cardinals is just such a total uprooting. You're going to a bad team. You're going to not the West Coast, but the West. You're going to the desert where you don't have any ties. You don't have, as far as I'm aware, you don't have ties to their new head coach, which is Mike LaFleur, who's actually, of course, the brother of Matt LaFleur, who you didn't really get along with in Green Bay. There's no connection there. And again, A-Rod doesn't seem like somebody who's playing because he loves the game. He's playing because he loves the coach. He loves the city, like whatever. There's got to be something in it for him.
Yeah, I can't imagine he goes anywhere else, but like people are projecting him to go somewhere else. And the bottom line is if he hasn't retired yet, and maybe I'm wrong, but if he hasn't retired yet, he's playing next season. And I don't know why the Steelers would have brought in a guy like Mike McCarthy if you weren't going to get one more year out of Aaron Rodgers. Like that makes sense to me. But there's a lot of people projecting him going every which direction, and I just don't think that's the right move right now for him. I think it's got to be Pittsburgh or head home.
I totally agree.
What other quarterbacks we got on this list, Grant, that are noteworthy? Kirk Cousins.
I mean, he'll go somewhere, but I don't know how. I just don't know how noteworthy that is.
The Falcons should find a way to keep him. Like, I mean, I know the cap's a problem there and all that, but like, you can't count on Michael Penix.
He'd probably be my Cardinals pick, honestly. Cousins.
Yeah, Cardinals would be good for him. I think there's a few teams that need quarterbacks. Pittsburgh's need a quarterback. Indy needs a quarterback. Arizona, Cleveland potentially. Jets. New York Jets. Yeah. One really interesting name here is Justin Fields to me because he's a backup now for sure.
Yeah.
He can't be a starter anywhere. So where does he go? That's the question.
It's tough, man, because Justin Fields, like, again, he's got so much talent, but he's been given so many chances. And because of this Sam Darnold thing, the name we keep coming back to, You look at him, he's only been in the NFL for 5 years, which I get it. He should have proven something by now. But that's also not a very long time. It took Darnold 7 or 8, or it took Daniel Jones 7. So, like, is there a home out there for him that could bring the best out of him? When I look around, Darnold got to go to Kevin O'Connell and Justin Jefferson, so that helps. Jones got to go with Steichen, who's a brilliant offensive mind. I think it'd be insane if the Colts fired him, so that makes sense for him. But, like, is there genuinely a home out there for Justin Fields? Who needs a quarterback right now? The Browns, he's not going to thrive there. The Raiders, they're going with Mendoza. The Cardinals, he's not going to thrive there. Any other teams?
No.
The Jets is the one that he's leaving. The Dolphins, he's not going to do well there with a defensive coach and no talent. So I don't really – it's tough for me to project a landing spot because he's not going somewhere to start. He's going somewhere to be a backup.
Yeah, I mean, if you follow the Sam Darnold arc, like, it's time for him to go be the backup because he really hasn't been that. I mean, Chicago, he was the guy there. Pittsburgh, he
got to start like the first 6 or 7 games, whatever it was.
Yeah, and then the Jets, he was brought in to be the starter. So, like, you really can't say much. I mean, even with the Jets in 9 games, completed 62% of his passes, didn't have a high average completion rate, but he still was 1259 for yardage. He had 7 touchdowns, 1 interception. Like, can you have him as a starter? Probably not. But all these guys, that's the problem with this class. It's like, can you win a Super Bowl with any of these guys? And most likely the answer is no. But that's the end of that's what the league comes to, right? Like, how many quarterbacks can you really win a Super Bowl with?